well over 30 years ago that Ali retired, and perhaps many say he should have retired before that. Do you think he still has an influence on today's generation of boxers?
He does, and maybe sometimes indirectly he's got an influence on the generation because he popularized being cool, being hip for being a black person. He was a person that opened doors, broke down barriers. How many sports people were willing to give up in 1967 when he refused to take the draft to go to the Vietnam War? How many people in his position, irrespective of skin tone, would have given up something, millions of dollars, to say, I'm standing up for my belief, and then coming back and becoming world heavyweight champion again in 1974? How many people?
Do you think that had a massive impact then politically in how people saw the world from him, not just obviously as a boxer, but for everything he stood for, and the fact he was brave enough to stand up and be honest and very opinionated about it, regardless of whether you agreed or not?
Yeah, he was just a strong person. You got to think that he was under tutelage and guidance of prominent people, figures of the civil rights movement. Like, he was around Malcolm X, he was around Martin Luther King. That is strength within itself. So these people rubbed off on him. His teachings took over the whole world, to the certain fact that he was a person that could stand up and be bold and to say, like, I am black, I am beautiful, at a time when we were not being seen as being black and beautiful. Now it's different. We're living in a totally different world. It's a cool world now. But at the time when Muhammad Ali stood up, how many people would stand up in a way that he did? That's what makes a man great. Not only that, but he was a handsome guy and he could fight. Let's not get twisted. He could really, really fight. And that's why he's got to be on anybody's top 5 of all-time great fighters.
How about quick with the hands as well as quick with the tongue? Some of his trademark moves, the shuffle, the quick fist, the trash talk, do you see those sorts of things mimicked now by today's generation?
Come on. There would be no Conor McGregor trash talking right now, even right without Muhammad Ali. There would be no braggadocio of a Floyd Mayweather without a Muhammad Ali. Sugar Ray Leonard was the closest thing that we ever got to a Muhammad Ali, and he was nowhere near a Muhammad Ali. So we have to look at things like his influence. His influence was a showman. Chris Eubank, who you had on earlier, was a showman. But yeah, Chris Eubank was allowed to stand on the shoulders of greatness, to look and see far around him to know what greatness was because of that man.
None of them got quite as close to it as he did, though. He was the best, right?
No, listen, as a heavyweight, he's the greatest of all time, as a heavyweight. And nobody could argue with that. Nobody could say, no, he's not the greatest. No, Muhammad Ali is the greatest heavyweight of all time, and the greatest, I wouldn't say sports personality, I would say the greatest personality of all time.
Was he the first great sportsman that became a celebrity?
I think that he opened up the doors. Listen, without Muhammad Ali, would you really think the money that he generated in sport? 1974 in Zaire against George Foreman for the heavyweight championship of the world, he was paid $5 million. Unheard of, because we're going back 34 years. Now, sorry, 42 years. Now, if we was to go and look on this today, how much would that be today? With pay-per-view and things like that, he would have broken all records, all records. He opened the door, that floodgates inside sport, that people could earn money. Without Muhammad Ali, I think all of the top-notch footballers now are making big money now. They all need to bow in reverence to Muhammad Ali as being the greatest of all time and say a massive thank you to the man.
Yeah, we all have a lot to thank Muhammad Ali for. Spencer Fearon, thank you very much indeed for joining us this morning.
Thank you.